jam. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Bearded Ramblings, the show that will promise you things, fail to deliver, and blame it on a minority that you don't like. We are joined by Krendar,
Hello.
the return of the luscious Lady Luna&Deviousfurball,
Hello.
and a good friend of hers who she's dragged along to this den of debauchery for the first time, Deviousfurball. Hello, good sir.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Indeed.
Now, let's get the shilling out of the way, and then we can get cracked right into just doing whatever the hell we want to do. First of all, as I just told everyone before we went live, I'm a little bit groggy, and I'm drinking Le Grog. So as a result, I'm going to be tired pretty goddamn soon. So we might be having a bit of a shorter one tonight. Second of all, we have ourselves a stream goal. Anything given, greatly appreciated. Krendar gets his cut. All this is going towards the hotel that Claire was so gracious to snag for me for my birthday in January. But I said this before, I would not have her spend that much money and me not giving it back. So that's what I've been doing. And with your help, I'll be able to reach that. Always optional though, never a requirement. Always welcome. And of course, like, share, subscribe. Check out the links down below for our guests, Krendar's all-in-one, and my stuff, including Streamlabs. And don't forget, next week is the watch party. So if you want to be subscribing over on Twitch, you'll be able to join our watch party. We're going to be watching, I think, This Is England, or Made in Britain. I think it's Made in Britain.
Is it going to be like an actual watch party, like a full blown?
Yeah, it's over on the Discord.
You're going to use the feature? Oh, you're just going to watch it through Discord?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. Like, are you doing it through the Amazon feature, or are you just doing it in Discord?
In Discord.
That makes sense.
I don't know what the...
I like Discord more, too.
I wouldn't know what the copyright laws would be, you know?
Well, the way they do it on Twitch is they just have you watch it, and you can't, like, show it or let anyone hear it, but you can just sit there and let people watch you react to it. Nothing.
Exciting.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? It's great.
Good
idea.
And yet, Jeff Holiday, wait, what does he do? Like Mimosa Thursday, not Blossom, Passions. He watches like episodes of Passion. With his friend.
I mean, clearly he should have done it on Mondays, because then it could be Mimosa Monday.
Well, he does have a life outside of Twitch, so he probably couldn't make it.
Yeah, but he needs to structure his life around better alliteration in his titles.
His entire life, he has to miss his child's for like first aid school or something because that's
this
the day.
This is Jeff Holiday we're talking about.
Yeah. He posted a really nice picture of himself, or either yesterday or earlier today, and I posted that he looks like Daryl from The Walking Dead. He's got very
he
sort of
fucking
like,
does.
Yeah, like he just needs a crossbow.
A rugged,
that though.
Droopy, almost closed eyes. I mean, he's got some pretty slanty eyes for a white boy.
You have to wonder about his bloodline. We need to see his birth cert.
Plus, as the father of a young child, he's probably constantly exhausted. So.
Wild
these days, anyway.
Stare. The cowboy stare.
Yeah.
They didn't have sunglasses back in the day.
How old is this kid now, anyway?
God, they might be starting school pretty soon, if not already. Last time I thought about it,
5, something like it.
Yeah, something like that. Jesus, time is going by. And also, before we go on, I said this yesterday, and I said it on Discord, but RIP Crip Daddy. We miss you.
Yeah.
We'll watch one of his videos. The one that got him in trouble with his teacher, I guess. That was a good one. But yeah, that was That was a heartbreak for a lot of people. I can't say I was his biggest fan or whatever. I didn't need to be, but I knew that if I really like got into his stuff, he'd be like Ricky Burke 2.0. You know, like I just love his stuff.
He was constantly getting hit on Twitter. Yeah, he was constantly being put in like Twitter jail and skirting the line, and
He did not give a fuck. Well, what could they do to him that nature hadn't already done, right? Like, but yeah, that
you
was
say
nuts.
that, but you give it enough thought, and you'll think of something.
Oh yeah,
Think of something.
but
Nature always
He
does.
was really cool. He was a really cool, chill guy, and had a good character to him.
Poor Billy.
That I will
was
miss
immense.
very much on Twitter. I didn't really associate too much. I don't really talk to big creators or big number of people too much because they freak me out, and their audience freaks me out more than they do.
Yeah.
So
See,
I
that's
just
why-
keep trying to keep it low key.
That's why we're safe, because we're tiny.
Seriously, it's why we don't have drama. I was asked.
Yeah,
last-
well, I
It
mean, you
helps.
guys are chill too. Like you guys talk about,
Yeah, we're naturally
stuff
chill
that's
anyway.
happening that I'm into. I like video games. I like current events. You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say
Actually,
it's drama. You guys aren't on here like that baby girl and that baby daddy and this, that, and the other
No.
thing. Like it's not like that here.
I couldn't give less of a crap about that stuff. But speaking of stuff we talked about in video games, I actually had been holding on to a question I wanted to ask you two. Since we were talking a little bit of 40K during the pre-show prep. Are you two interested in the upcoming Rogue Trader video game?
Rogue
Do you know about it?
Trader?
Yes, I am. Rogue Traders, if I remember from the lore, it's a unique orc faction.
No, it is
No.
Imperium.
Oh, it's the Imperium. Okay then.
But it's for Luna's question, it is an upcoming computer game. Did you ever see those there's this developer called Owlcat that made a couple of Pathfinder games over the last few years. Have you seen those?
I know all about Pathfinder. Yeah.
Have you played the Owlcat games of Kingmaker and Wrath of the Righteous?
I haven't played them, but I've watched them.
Okay.
I've seen them.
The same developer is making a 40K game called Rogue Trader.
Oh.
And it is.
So we might get like a little 8-bit, like.
Not 8-bit,
Roguelike?
but
Top
no.
Oh,
it's
that
not-
would be so
Okay,
cool
it's-
if we
it's
did,
called Rogue
though.
Trader, but
Wouldn't
it's
that be
Rogue-
fucking so cool if we
would
did,
be-
though?
That would be cool. That would be cool. I'm very excited for this. You should check it out. I pre-ordered it, which means I could play the beta, so I've played a little bit of it. Very fun. Also, it's the
Okay,
first time I've ever
I
actually
do
seen
sound-
anybody do the sign of the Aquila, like visually, and not just read about it somewhere.
I've gotten really into 40K the past year.
Me too.
So, I mean, I've always kind of like, it's always been adjacent to everything I've done,
Yeah.
but I've never been able to like really fully devote myself to it. And Vermintide was like dipping my toes into it, and I didn't
Mhm.
realize the scope of 40K through Vermintide. I just thought, oh my god, it's just this one planet with this
Yeah.
fantasy realm that every other game has. But I was
Yeah.
so fucking wrong.
It is
It
such
is
a
not.
huge. But
Literally, Vermintide is like
Mm.
basically just a game based around one hive planet, right? Like, and that's it. It's just one little tiny like nothing percent of like the entire lore that is 40K.
Yeah, one hive
So-
sitting. Yes.
I really like. I got so deep into it, dude. This year,
I realized-
way too deep. I got lost.
yeah.
I realised
I
where I
got
made
lost.
my mistake. I was thinking about the orc freebooters.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
the rogue traders that trade with the Imperium and, well, trade with everybody.
Yeah, that's like the orc equivalent of the Rogue Traders, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've
Oh,
been
sweet.
pretty excited for it. It's been pretty neat. I've been reading a lot of 40K novels lately, so I'm deep in the lore lately as well. It is so much
There's
fun.
tons of really cool like little short videos of people just dropping like quick lore. I love the shorts on
Mhm.
YouTube
Mhm.
where it's like quick information.
Oh, we had
Really
one
like
of
Oh,
them.
that.
yeah.
shit. I'm trying to like convince Devious to do it because could you imagine 40K lore in that voice?
Oh.
Like,
Yeah, he'd be like
Yes.
Voldemort and people like them, or Remembrancer.
You know what?
We had
I feel
Naira
like
on a few times.
I feel like from now on, whenever I'm reading Gaunt's Ghosts, I'm gonna think of Gaunt's lines in Devious's voice.
So good.
He just sounds like
Perfect.
Sharp, so Sean Bean to me, because that was the inspiration for Gaunt's Ghosts, was Sharp's rifles. And that was turned into a TV show. Sean Bean played it, and yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I had a few friends heavily into that Sharp series. Heavily into it, yeah.
Watch.
I haven't read them
some of
yet,
those
but I might in the future.
Bernard Cornwell. The books are okay. They're you can definitely read them and go like, oh my god, this is Gaunt's Ghosts. What the hell? And Dan Amlett was asked in an interview in like the early 2000s. So a lot of people have made the connections, and he was like, "Listen, I loved the show when it first came out, so I'm not going to pretend there wasn't a little bit of inspiration, but you just have to scale it up to the Imperium size." So Sharp's rifle's like 10, 20 people. Yeah, okay. So here's now a small group of 500 people in armies of billions. You know?
Yeah. There's a specialist group kind of thing. I like that.
All right, let's get into it. Like I said, we don't have a lot of time, but we'll start with something that isn't on the list. We haven't watched a Walter video in a while, so boop.
So can you prime me for what a Walter video is?
Walter Fay is
I'm-
a very cool dude. He is, although it's Fatal Walter here since he got his last channel taken down. This was a while back now. He just started up a new one, and I think it's bigger than it was before. He's been on the show a few times. He looks at like nice guys, incels. You know who Lucas Werner is?
Mm-hmm.
He has like a constant war with him, and he just reads off all this stuff. He a lot of Reddit posts.
Yeah.
There's some crazy shit here. Like
Okay, yeah, I've heard some adjacent things. I might have seen some things on Twitter, like vaguely responding to it.
Just to clarify, when he says that he talks about nice guys, he means he talks about quote unquote nice guys.
Yeah.
Like that guy that like jizzed his pants when he hugged Amaranth.
When we watched that video,
Alice is his name.
He was so proud of it too.
Dude, the look on his face.
That guy next to him.
I did it.
He just said like,
me.
"Wow." Remember the old guy next to him? He's like, "Wow." Like, what are you saying in that situation? It's so crazy.
You need help?
Oh my god.
Medical or psychological? I mean,
both.
I mean, at this point, I'm ready to buy him a prostitute, but he goes on to say stuff like, I just don't even want that. I would rather be asexual if I could, but then turns around and says like some heinous.
Yeah. Apparently he doesn't need one though, because it seems like he's a real cheap date.
Right?
Oh my goodness.
I remember that was a
Dude,
joke.
if all it took was a hug, my job would be so much fucking easier, let me tell you.
Oh, you wear whatever, like the most comfiest, like hoodie and like sweatpants, and just be like, okay, give me the money. If you like get a 50, you just tap him and goes, you push him away. Next.
Yeah, at that point you gotta wonder. It must be something about the humiliation that gets him off too. Is like you could tell he's really reveling in that attention that it's getting him, right? So, having been done this for 10 years, I'm very well aware of people who are willing to literally say and do anything. They will compromise everything about themselves. But like this guy, we're talking about Dallas, he goes into like every e-girl's comments and says the same shit. Like literally to Pokimane was like, you deserve everything, all of your success and blah blah blah. Like, what is that gonna get you?
Copy paste,
That's what I'm saying. It's like, it must be like, that's the nice guy complex. Like, nice guys must think that that's what's gonna get them pussy, but honestly, it just makes women feel like they're less of a threat. Like no one's doing anything about Dallas because women aren't perceiving him as a threat. But if he were any other guy, right? Any other kind of dude that wasn't like someone I could fucking beat the shit out of, let me tell you, he wouldn't be getting away with this shit.
No.
I'll tell you right now.
We are, however,
Would not be
on
happening.
YouTube and not Twitch, which means you're able to say what he is. He's a simp. And a cook.
I wouldn't say that he's a simp, because simps just, honestly, I think simps are just there to support people. And they get, honestly, like innocent people get called simps all the time, right?
Yeah.
This guy's mental, like Dallas has
what
something
he's-
broken in his brain. Okay?
Mm.
Definitely broken in the brain up there. If a hug is the only thing that is getting you off, you need to see a doctor.
Also, can we really call him a
Hey.
cuck if he's single?
No, you can't. No,
That's true,
you have
yeah.
to actually be like in a relationship with someone or
Like that.
kind of dating.
That's definitely one of those words that's been losing its meaning. lately.
Exhibit A, I kind of...
Yeah, you know why?
I've used
Because
it.
so many people watch porn. Everyone's a cuck. Anyone who watches porn is by definition a cuck. I mean, it automatically didn't have any meaning to begin with, if you think about it a little bit. I mean, we all watch people get fucked at some point, right? I mean,
If all of us are cooks, then none of us are cooks.
yeah, exactly.
There you go.
That brings the
That's
world
how
together.
that's how it
cuckoldry.
loses. That's how words lose their meaning. It's not
Well,
just
for
the
me-
cuck word. It's like a lot of words right now are just don't mean anything anymore.
Well, everybody knows cook is short for cuckold, but many people don't know that simp is short for simpering, which is a behavior.
Right.
So, for me, it will always be the behavior of simpering rather than just a casual insult of simp.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with devious on that one. It's definitely a
Really?
behavioral thing. It's not something I prefer men or women to do. I don't want people to over-adulate. I like flattery.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
fine with that.
Nobody
but, I
should
mean,
be doing that.
Anyone who's giving away, like, divorcing your wife, putting all your life savings into some bitch that's already a fucking millionaire, please. That's not
Nah.
simpery. That's like next level mental illness. Something's wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
Or the
Okay.
woman who she left her house, left her family, and like sold a bunch of her sold a bunch of her money to date somebody from, I forget what show it was, but he was a catfisher, and he
Yeah,
claimed to be
catfish.
like he was the actor for this, and she went over to like see him, and she was just left, and after she sent him like 26 grand.
Oh my god.
Yep. This is the thing. Like, I get
I'd
hit
be
on
lucky to-
online a lot on like, especially on dating apps and shit like that. Obviously, and that's kind of what you do. But like, some of them are like, "When are you gonna come over and see me after we've talked like twice?" And they're like in
Yeah.
America. At this rate, probably not at all. You know, like that's a bit of
Yeah, like-
trust you're asking from me right off the bat there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I make a very big point to tell everyone right off the bat, like, make sure you're taking care of yourself first. That will make me happy. And then you can, if you have some to spare, I'm happy to take what you have to spare. But make sure you're taking care of yourself first. Because the whole idea is, like, if you give away everything you are to someone and then you become nothing, how can you help them continuously?
Mm.
You're just, you then become like that a male anglerfish that just attaches to the female and just fucking lives there for the rest of
So,
its life. You know what I'm
Rev
saying?
and Shani, basically.
Mhm.
So you
I
guys
don't
are
know.
familiar with the analogy
comment.
of anglerfish.
Which one is attached to the other one, though?
Oh,
Male
well,
is
let's be
attached to the
honest.
female.
It's
The
bloody-
male is
As a parasitic
significantly
relationship.
smaller than the female anglerfish. And
Oh,
they're
so
already tiny
Rev and
fish,
Shani then.
right? Like, they're pretty
Yeah.
small fish. But the male will latch on to the back of the female or, like, somewhere on it and just
Yeah.
literally stay there until it becomes the female.
Yeah.
Like-
So exactly like Rev. Gotcha.
I saw the police footage earlier today of her arrest. Rev punches a cop, and
Looks like a smart plan.
Wow.
yeah, I forget. Oh, the reason he
Yikes.
got arrested was because like the police came around to issue him a ticket, and it was like what was it? He had picked up his kids from school, and then he hit another car and just drove away, but someone cashed his license plate. So
Oh yeah,
that's
how
how
did
it
that
was
work out for him?
But yeah, the body cam footage, like Shani is on the ground screaming like, "You can't, no, no!" She's doing that weird sort of high pitched voice of hers, and oh, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Ugh.
Look, we're getting tangenty. We don't have a lot of time. Like, if we're going to do any of the content tonight, let's get into it.
Okay.
Everyone, my name's Walter, and we're back here with a story from Reddit once again. Nice guys are men who act as their own hype man, and all the hype is about how they're the nicest guy you'll ever meet. But they're not really if they're being featured in one of my videos. Well, let's just get started with Nice Guy Story from Reddit. This is perhaps the longest story I've ever seen on Reddit Nice Guy Stories, but there is a lot of evidence to support it. I'm not even sure we'll get through part 1 of 2 today, but we'll see. 4 years of uni with a nice guy. This is a long one. It also mentions death of a classmate, so beware.
Oh, damn.
Edit. I will preface this by saying you don't have to read all this.
Spoilers.
It is by now a means for me to be able to explain it to people I meet and are interested in the story. Then I don't have to recall everything over and over.
I will bump him
Now
up
to
in
explain to
speed.
you who, this is a guy who you can see at first glance does not have great social skills. Someone who latched onto our group during the first year of uni when nobody knew each other and the friend groups were just starting to form. Many people have different experiences with this man. Let's call him Kevin. And some of what I will write here is accounts from those different people. One of these important people is Cleo. She was in a similar spot as I was with him. An object of his, let's call it desire. Kevin was the kind of nice guy who wanted to be your friend, but did not respect that I was in a committed long-distance relationship with my girlfriend at the time. Now please note, both Cleo and I are rather short, of darker skin tone, and of strong and outspoken personality. Something Kevin will compliment me a lot on as time goes on, and it will never stop sounding weird. Kevin was in class with me, and our classes often included group projects that could decide whether or not we passed the semester. So know that I and mostly everyone else in this story wanted to avoid confrontation as much as possible, because you don't want to start drama with someone you may have to work on a really important assignment with. So this is why we were all so nice and patient. That, and we pitied him, because we all honestly suspected Kevin was somewhere on the spectrum and felt bad.
Okay.
Pity. That's the start where everything goes wrong.
Yeah, I was
I think
about to
once
say
women
that's where my
start to
first
pity
issue.
the nice
were.
guy, it's like it's worse than the friend zone. Okay? It's literally worse than the friend zone. Like, you want to be in a girl's friend zone because that
Girls are
they
cool.
trust
You want them in your life.
They trust you, yeah. But this pitying someone is less than trust, and it's honestly, like, I think I'd rather fear a man than pity him. Personally.
Hot take.
But Kevin was a nuisance in the group chat, never ceasing to talk about pedophilia and rape scandals,
What?
and pedophilic Silicon Valley businessmen. Whenever there was good news in the world or a company invented something to benefit people, he would always talk it down and get back to the pedophilic
King
Silicon Valley
Cobra?
businessmen. Now, we aren't naive.
Sickos.
We know most rich people are skeezy as hell, but he is the kind of edgelord who will not let anyone have nice things. Not to mention he just talks about explicit topics, even when we tell him this is not what this group is for. It was literally named Group for Fun Stuff. For fuck's sake, what is so hard to understand about that? You send a picture of your pet into the group chat, he will say how delicious it looks and that he will eat it. Talk about cute animals? Oh, he will murder and eat those fluffy bunnies. Talk about the new Pokemon game? Guess what? He will speak about eating them. Cursing to God because you are frustrated?
Okay, this guy
Look-
isn't just maybe on the spectrum. He's clearly on the fucking spectrum, okay? Like, this is...
Well, he's on some sort of spectrum anyway.
Yeah, and he
Strikes me
hopefully
as a
he's on a
deliberate
watch
choice.
list, you know?
That's a deliberate choice of words.
We don't live in a
Shock.
society anymore. We live in a spectrum.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so true.
Kevin will answer saying he is God, and that joke will get old so quickly, and even when you tell him it stops being funny, he keeps making it. And even when an autistic classmate who asked him if he was joking, for genuine clarification, he will insist that he is serious. Whoa, this guy's in college? He acts kind of like a 14-year-old
Hey,
girl
no,
from when I was in
Christian.
school. I wonder if he shops
I
at
was
Hot
gonna say,
Topic and watches
kinda
Happy
gives me
Tree
an
Friends.
Otherkin vibe.
I think I'd get annoyed pretty quickly if someone was just doing that with everything I said on Discord, though. He is also the kind of guy who will tell someone when they say they do X martial art that X martial art would not work in a fight. My favorite moment was when Cleo defended the girl who said it, saying to Kevin, "Have you done X martial art?" And when he answered no, she just said, "Then shut up." And he was real quiet after that. He also made a lot of
Good.
sexual jokes towards Cleo. Tentacle sex jokes, even said he would buy her the new Borderlands, and she told him not to. He did anyway, but she did not take it. I don't know if he returned it to get a refund or just kept it for himself, but he bought a €60 fucking game for her. We met, I think, twice outside of school with him by this point in time. Oh, also, if you do things with him, he will pressure you to try new things, even when you don't want to, and your boundaries don't matter, because he will just call you not fun and boring.
All you have to do is just abandon him, kick him out of the group. It's not complicated. Like, you'll feel bad about it, but you weren't the one who made him this way, but he is the one who chooses to act this way.
Yeah, and the other thing is some people don't choose to act this way. That's why the pity sets in. But, you know, I was raised in a household with an autistic brother who's 4 years younger than me. He just turned 31 this year. And he's got severe motor skills. He can't talk right. He's never going to live alone or really have a girlfriend or drive or have a normal life, like, at all, ever. So having been in that experience, I do realize that there's a lot of thinking that they just don't do. Critical thought isn't in everyone's brain. In fact, I walk around and assume most people aren't capable of it, right? So, and
a lot of people aren't.
I have less expectations of other people. I don't expect people to have particular behavioral patterns anymore because mental illness is clearly so rampant, and a lot of people seem to have it.
I think this gentleman's actions are manipulative. Judging
Quite.
by what they said before about the animals, there is no such a thing where an obvious person's pet is edible in any way, shape, or form, or to be killed or to be consumed and things like that. That's not even autistic. That is manipulative. So I don't think this person is autistic or as autistic as people make them out to be. Oh, they're
That's
just
why,
a quirky clown of the world that, you know, is wired up differently. No, this person's
that's why I brought it up. Kevin, my brother, doesn't do shit like this, and he's worse.
Yeah.
He is really not in control of functions in his body and his brain and his thinking. He needs an aid with him all the time. So, I mean, if this kind of behavior elicits pity in us, someone should be aiding this person. They're clearly incapable of taking
control of their
care of
lives.
themselves, you know? I'm always, like, I've heard people say before, like, oh, you're so cute, I could eat you with a spoon, and consumption is kind of like, I guess, a thing, but it is very weird. And when you get to the part where he bought the video game for her when she explicitly said no, that's a clear, like, indication that he's not picking up on social cues and just blatantly not listening to someone. And that's enough. That's, you know, my brother does not have trouble with that kind of shit. When you say no to him, he understands no.
To me,
even at his low function, okay?
To me, it seems like he's addicted to shock attention. Says the inverse deliberately to get.
He enjoys upsetting people.
Just like Dallas.
Yes.
Just like Dallas does, where he's like, yeah, I came in my pants. And a big shit-eating grin on his face.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an Aspie, so I'm technically on the spectrum. And when I was younger, I was a lot worse. Most people who are, they don't have a handle of it yet. You learn certain things. Yeah.
Everyone needs to grow and learn, and we don't come.
It's a bit harder for
not understanding a social structure is different from deliberately selecting something offensive or inverse.
Yeah, he knows he shouldn't be talking about this, but he wants to. And then when everyone says, but again, I'm going to turn it around to his friend group. Kick him out. You don't like his company, and you don't want to deal with this shit. And it's only just started, so I'm feeling this is going to escalate like wild. So, like, God knows.
We walked a half hour through a busy-ass crowd during a festival in town, just because he didn't want to go to the fucking pizza place we walked past. Because you can have pizza every day. That's so boring. And he made us look for something different and walk to it, and it wasn't even worth it. That was some of the most mediocre walk I had ever eaten. And don't forget, if you cannot afford anything, he will either, on a good day, threaten to treat you and you just pay the next time, basically forcing a next time upon you now.
Great.
Or on a bad day, he will just tell you how you are ruining everyone's day because you are the only one not getting anything, because you just don't have the money. He also told me when I confessed that my short haircuts originated
How
from when I was
dare you be
sexually
poor.
assaulted and I cut my hair short after that, but nowadays my hair is my biggest source of confidence. I made it a good thing. I did that. But he told me that that story is too sad, and that cutting my hair should be because of a good reason. I would like to ask, what the fuck do you want? For me to go back and undo it? This is like Chris Chan levels of being oblivious.
Oh, there you
Does
go.
no one ever tell this guy he should just shut the fuck up if he's gonna keep saying stupid things?
Yeah.
There's no filter here at all.
I don't know.
Oh, remember the girl whose martial
Maybe
art he
this
made
is
fun
a
of?
little mean,
She do-
but if I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say it. Never mind.
When has that ever stopped you, madam? Go for it.
I'm just saying, like, if you're cutting your hair, if you're doing anything to your body because of something bad that happened to you, I kind of agree with this guy that you should be doing things because they make you happy, not be, you know. And maybe, I don't know, there's just something weird about that. It just seems like she's also manipulative and using some kind of situation that doesn't even matter to make this argument. I don't know. It comes across as like not very it's very cherry picked, it seems to me. That one. Compared to all the other shit she said, this, I think she could have left this out, and
Maybe
I
just
would have
went
still
to her
agreed.
mind a bit heavy, that one, because she said like earlier, she said like, oh, I'm feeling really like confident about my hair, and this guy who we have all these other problems also hated it. Yeah, but like maybe you know he could have been onto something, but we don't know the details.
I think her problem is she gives too much a shit what other people think. She should just not give a fuck.
Hell, if she did,
Why does she fucking care so much? That's my like
if she
question
didn't give
here.
as much of a fuck, then he wouldn't be around, would he? And none of this would be happening. Like,
That's kind of like what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
Like her amount of caring about this is exacerbating the problem. It's keeping this guy around even longer. If she didn't give a fuck, if she didn't care so fucking much, and just told the fucking truth, you know, you don't have to be mean. You just say to the guy, look, we're not compatible. I got shit to do, and like, you make me feel terrible.
oh,
I don't wanna be
wouldn't
around
take
you.
that well at all. He just have a
Who
hissy
cares?
fit,
That's
right?
what I'm talking about. Who fucking cares? He's making her feel a certain way, and she's not being honest about it. And this is where a lot of communication problems happen, not just in friendships, but relationships, marriages, you name it. People don't want to be honest, and women, ladies, don't want to like be accountable for their emotions. So they constantly try and put it off on anyone else around them. Okay? And I'm a woman, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking
Died later
about.
that year. She was one of Cleo's best friends, but Cleo did not wish to go to the funeral. That is just not something she wanted. But Kevin went, and dared to say how he was a better friend to her than Cleo because he went to her funeral, and Cleo did not. Imagine judging people for how they choose to grieve. Eventually he got so bad in the group chat that after several warnings, Cleo, who was the admin, had to kick him for the sake of everyone. We literally voted him out. Thing is, I didn't look in the chat often, so I had no idea till Cleo would tell me about it much later. I was not present for most of his antics in there. So I stuck with him for a while longer after he got kicked. Bad decision. The thing is, after he got kicked, he was done with everyone from the group. He blocked Cleo and refused to speak to them.
Oh,
Was hella
no.
pouty and whatnot. It was weird. He still hung out with me, because I felt pretty neutral on the situation, because a lot of stuff I just didn't know about. My main problem with
Because
him was
you
the
care too
ever-frequent
much.
argument that because I did not want to hug him most times, and only on some days, made him feel like I did not trust him, that I was hot and cold with him, that he
probably
wanted to
didn't
know how he
trust
could make
him.
me more comfortable.
Should've
So
told
I would hug
that.
him more. Again, I
Why
was in a
would you trust
relationship he was
this
very aware
I
of.
don't think she even trusts
Oh,
her
great,
own
he's one of those
feelings.
where's my
She
hug
doesn't even
kind of-
trust herself the way
Yeah.
she's talking. That's what
I
you know.
will say what we were saying earlier. When you're a lot younger, like these are the time, like they just started college. Like this is the time in their lives when they have to figure this shit out. So she's getting a trial by fire for sure in dealing with people like this. But Jesus Christ, this guy on it's the exact same. Like he was like this when he was a kid. He would have been like this when he was a teenager. And I don't know how this story is going to end, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's still alive. He probably still has these sort of like patterns of behavior, and that means he's probably passed it on to someone else. You know, he's dealing this with someone else, and now they're more codified, and that and their habits that are just like really negative habits, and everyone has negative habits, but you know, if you're gonna have a negative habit, try doing it in a way that doesn't hurt other people. You know, like, other people live on this rock too, and unless there is a life after death, we only get to do it once. So don't fuck other people's good time, because they're trying to do the best they can. Usually failing at it. I mean, that's what we do as people, right?
Well, it
Guys,
seems
I don't
like
think I actually
very
knew someone
delusional
like that in
people
school.
like to live in their head.
Mm-hmm.
But they seem to show up in these stories a lot. Kevin made my boundaries, and my want not to be touched on most days, about him, that it made him feel bad, so I should be obligated to give him a strategy guide to my feelings. Which, if you know anything about human interaction, people can sense when you do something with the expectation of reward. And the fact that you go in with this mindset is setting you up for failure, Kevin. I did not tell him this, but looking back, I should have. Because one day we walk down the street, Kevin and I, and he tries to put his fucking arm around me, and I step out of it and say, "Whoa there, buddy, no." And you know this air strangling motion you do when you're angry or frustrated? Yeah, he did that, except with his hands on either side of my shoulders, not touching, but strangling the air around me, clenching his teeth, grinning as if it was a joke. When in reality...
Dude sounds like he's a fucking serial killer in the making, then he strangles little puppies. What the fuck?
I don't know. She's kind of
he was
explaining
signaling to me
this
that he was getting
oddly.
increasingly frustrated with...
She's explaining it the only way she knows how, I'm assuming, but context would be great.
Feelings aren't always factual, though. That's the other thing.
Yeah, but when somebody is
You
like
have to keep that in mind.
trying to strangle the air around you, after
I mean,
all
I would
this-
have been totally done with this guy by now.
Oh yeah,
Even
none of us
even
would've.
at a younger age,
with me being difficult for him. I have to wonder if this guy doesn't understand human interaction, or if he just ignores all the rules to do what he wants. Probably a bit of both, though. I took my distance from this point forward, and then quarantine hit, and he told me how much he missed me, a lot. And when it was over, he asked me to hang out. I declined, again and again and again, and he would not stop trying.
Holy
Eventually,
crap,
I met him
so-
outside of school again, but only because I was going to the birthday party of a mutual...
She's continuing to interact with him for years still.
Yeah, like
you can't do that. You gotta
block
block.
him.
You just gotta cut people off like this.
friend.
Yeah.
And at this party, as we wash our hands before dinner, he tells me, "I waited an entire year to see you again." And I said, "Please stop saying weird shit like that." And he immediately went super cold and started pulling down the mood of the party with his silent brooding. So I had to inquire into him again, so he got happy like a toddler getting what he wants. Because I am
don't
nice to
give him
Kevin
what he
again, Kevin
wants.
bothers to be tactful again and not ruin his friend's birthday. Great, he only cares when he gets what he wants. After the party, we wait for our trains, and he asked me if we are still friends, after I declined his request to hang out for the millionth time. And I snapped. Not loudly, I just could not take it anymore. I tried for 3 years of university to be nice, to be cordial, to placate him, just so that I would not have to deal with the awkward drama of being in a classroom with someone I had a bad fallout with. But I did not care anymore. Let it be weird and awkward. Who cares? My mouth did the work for me, when to his question, "Are we still friends?" I answered,
Good
"Were we
girl.
ever?" And that was when my train arrived and I made my exit. This is when these messages start, and believe me, this is only the beginning of the insanity.
Oh, see what I mean?
Okay, so after that little interaction
get
where she finally
wild.
told him off, something she probably should have done sooner, not victim blaming,
Way
but
sooner.
everyone knows this in retrospect, including the author clearly. After this interaction, he starts sending the kind of messages I usually read in my videos. Let's see what a sad sack he acts like. "I guess you are home. Good. I didn't expect that you would give me such a cold answer of that we were never friends, when I asked you if we were still friends. I already had this troubling feeling for the past month, that you were actually avoiding me for some reason.
Text
And when I was
roll,
joking in the
always a
kitchen
smart
at Radu's
choice.
place that I had to wait for months until we could finally see each other again, thanks to the quarantine and internship, you also gave me a weird answer and said that it was creepy. I always treated you with respect, and never did anything creepy to no one. It did make me realize that you had a 360
Gives me
degree
a
of
bit
attitude
a
towards me
MGTOW
for some
vibe, but I don't think he's smart enough to try MGTOW shit.
Also, he's
reason.
trying
And my
to get
suspicion was
her,
true.
so, which is
That is why I asked that question.
something they would do.
This is definitely nice guy syndrome.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's also
I am
think
honestly a
maybe
bit at a
even
loss
some
what to say.
different relationships.
Narcissist. Right. I think some narcissist.
Sorry there, Devious?
Sorry, it's also someone who doesn't seem to understand different terms of relationships. So, for example, a working acquaintance who you're just cordial with. You know, not everybody
yeah.
is your best friend. Not everybody wants to hang out. Not everybody wants to spend time with you, or you spend time with them. It's a very strange point of view, and there are different. You know, everybody only has so much energy, right? So,
Right.
your loved one, your wife, your husband, your partner, your life partner, you put a lot of energy and time into those people. Bob at the office, hi Bob, catch you later Bob. That's the extent of your relationship.
Yeah.
Anyone here ever had the type of person who has no life of their own, so they kind of like piggyback off yours, and just kind of latch onto you, kind of like the anglerfish, where you have to fill in them in every single fucking day on every detail of everything. Have you ever had to run across anyone like that?
If it's
I've
the
definitely
right
met people
person,
like that.
I actually don't mind if someone attaches themselves to me. If the relationship is mutual, right?
No.
But if it's
Right.
an
lopsided.
actual parasite who has literally given away everything they own just to be with you, that's not healthy. That's not going to help you as the person who's getting the simp or the nice guy, you know?
I've definitely met like one or two of those parasite, like energy parasite types, and I just I'd step that crap neatly and keep going.
And don't be like fooled out there, guys.
Mhm.
This nice guy syndrome is also girls do it too. Nice girls
sure.
exist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The
Hey,
reason,
everything
you know,
exists on both
the reason
sides.
everyone likes a mean girl is because mean girls are honest. Too honest. They'll tell you that shit right to your fucking face. But nice girls, they'll tell you what you want to hear, and then the next thing you know, you don't even know who they are anymore. You have no fucking clue who they are. You wake up one day
Sometimes.
and you have no clue who you're living with.
I saw that happen to a friend of mine. Got married and then they had a kid and then she lost her damn mind.
You know, some people do just kind of dip off one day. The brain and the human condition, health, like some people just lose it one day. But there are definitely red flags when it comes to nice girls and nice guys. And it's always this manipulation tactic. They use money. They have narcissistic tendencies. They try and guilt trip you
Gaslight, negging.
into everything you do with them. And when you do something with them, they try to make you feel bad while you're doing the nice thing, just to get more of that control over you. There's some sort of like being
gross.
nice means you get to control people, I think, also. Because the reaction that people have towards that really over nice toxic positivity shit, it's like, what can you do against it? You know?
Yeah.
You have to wait until these nice people actually say something fucked up and then slap them in the face.
On the plus side, because it's all an act, you don't usually have to wait too long for the mask to slip. The real question is, what do you do with that information? Do you just go like, oh, maybe he was just having a bad day? Maybe, but what if it keeps on happening? And what if now that, for example, you marry him and now you're living with him, what if suddenly, oh, he's not the type of man I thought I was marrying? No, but if you were paying a little bit more close attention, maybe you'd seen the signs. People, people have like the little seed that you will become, germinating for a long while, like little hints here, little hints there, and the exact same thing happens in reverse too. I mean, you are talking to a former skinhead, like shit can reverse back. You can go like, oh, I'm acting like an absolute fucking piece of shit tool. Maybe I could.
I can't tell you how many feminist friends, like they're not feminists anymore, but they come to me and they're like, I used to be a feminist and now I can't anymore. And it's been happening more and more the last couple months. Like the last 4 months, I've had like 20 DMs from girls going, I don't know if I can be a feminist anymore. And that's how I felt. That's how I felt 6 fucking years ago. Okay, I felt that way when they were like coming after the pit girls. The NASCAR girls.
Oh yeah.
You remember that? Everyone remember that?
I kind of remember seeing like an article about it.
Yeah. So there's something in the air.
I miss the comic convention booth girls. A lot of them are gone now because it's considered.
I remember
sexist.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I knew some of those girls. That was great
jobs.
Opportunity for them. Yeah.
Yes. They literally took jobs away in the name of. Sorry, go on.
No, sorry, I was just trying to clear the air for you to talk, actually. Go ahead.
They literally took jobs away from women in the name of women. It was madness.
So ironic.
Yes.
Alright, let's
don't really get why you treat me like this all of a sudden. Wait, does he mean that she had a 360-degree change of attitude? What do they teach these kids in school nowadays? He is also way too
Well,
puzzled,
that's the
when I feel like
problem.
she gave him plenty
There
of
should be
signs
a
most
class
people would
where they
notice.
teach people how to
She didn't
interact.
change in attitude, she just decided to stop beating around the bush and tell him off. To me, blank, you were actually my best friend on school,
Amen.
or better said, during these part/years of my life. And yeah, I kind of knew I wasn't yours, since even if we hanged out weekly, you just always looked a bit weird at me, but I thought that was just because you had
No.
trouble with trusting man. But it seems it is something different against me. I enjoyed hanging out with you, and listening to your stories of yourself and your family.
Honest question. If you felt that you weren't wanted in a situation, would you stay? Especially as long as he did.
I don't know. It's going to depend on that person. This person he's talking to right now is one person out of that group that still contacted him, treated him okay. While he was being nice, quote, to her, she was being, quote, nice back to him. And that was enough of a reciprocation for him to go, she's obviously more special than other people. I can nag her, I can gaslight her, I can control her with my niceness. You know, that's the manipulation tactic there. So he's convinced himself in his mind, in his delusional brain, that she's, you know, better than all the other people and actually wants to reciprocate because everyone else, I guess, didn't. That's the only, like, conclusion I can come to.
I will say this, and it's just for the sake of mentioning a habit. But you mentioned living vicariously earlier. So people who live vicariously live through the experiences of other people. When someone tells you about, I climbed Mount Everest and it was this and it was that, and they're incredibly descriptive, and they live that experience and they feel excited by that experience. That's perfectly normal social behavior. But it's not very. I'm not making an excuse for this clown that this story is about. But I do accept the fact that such a thing does exist, and people do like to hear stories about people's days and things. To an extreme, obviously that's a little bit weird. Like, I want to live inside your skin or something equally creepy.
Right.
Some
Well, my
Buffalo
experience
Bill.
was kind of like that, honestly. That's how it happened to me. Jesus,
Yeah,
I'm not getting
yeah.
into the details. We'll be here all
That-
day.
Obviously will go too far, yes, but there is such a thing as living vicariously.
Yeah, definitely.
Hell, we're all on stream right now, and we all know about parasocial relationships. And
I'm a parasocial queen.
you probably have like fucking hordes of guys who are like, I'm special to her. She treats
let
me
me tell
different
you.
from the rest.
Sim Squad.
Yeah.
I am not illusioned by any of this. I'm not falling for any of it. It's purely fun for me. But yes, there are definitely men and women out there who definitely think something's going on and nothing's going on.
Yeah. Like,
Nothing's going
guys,
on.
girls, you're better than this. Treat yourselves with some respect. Find yourself
Yeah.
someone who will treat you like you that way. Because I don't think this is it.
I mean, that level of that level is fine. I don't mind it. It just doesn't work for me. I don't particularly encourage it. I encourage genuine connections with people. So there is some parasocial shit going on, but it's a lot more connected than just parasocial. Like, there's just certain things you can't ever do with people virtually online. But there's things you can only do virtually with people online at the same time. So the parasocial relationship has yet to be fully defined and is constantly being rewritten every day, I think.
Yeah, it's we're kind of in this sort of brave new world. It's why when I saw those yummy girls from the NPC girls, I have respect for
NPC
them.
girls?
Yeah,
Yum
that-
yum. Gang gang.
That went out.
Oh my
The
gosh.
amount of money that they made. Fucking hell.
Well, it's
I could
technically
Dude,
not
just a
$7
funnel.
grand a day. pink baby dolls
Some of
making
these were
7
under 20
fucking
years
G's a
old.
day. I
Oh,
can't
come
even
on.
imagine.
I mean, they do make a decent amount of money being an NPC, but they also it is a funnel to other avenues of income as well. You know,
Well,
like
yeah, of course.
certain
I
fan
think-
sites, let's say.
My brain goes automatically to like food. Like I think, okay, like imagine restricting your diet so that you could only eat certain things. These NPC streamers are literally restricting their vocabulary diet, like their words. They're literally
would drive me insane.
restricting them fucking selves creatively for money. And it's just like you
Oh,
can
there's
see
no-
the soul being sucked out of
Mhm.
streaming as we
There's-
fucking speak.
There's zero
Like, I have no
creativity in what they're
problem-
doing. None.
Yeah, like I have no problem with Pink Baby Doll and the, what's the word, pioneering of new content. But all the copycats, all the imitators is where you start to see the fall of society, right? It's like, can you guys like think of something? Anything for yourselves, or is it just like
Clearly not.
are we just gonna do exactly what everyone else is doing? And you can
Yeah.
see a few people will kind of add their own character to it, like the other blonde girl does with the elf ears. I can't remember her name.
Oh, yeah. Is she the one who she
Harry
poses
Crush.
like a JRPG
She's a voice actor.
character?
She can like change her voice without
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
electronics,
I know the one.
and that's what makes her cool. Yeah.
What I'm thinking of is the idle animation NPC movement, where she's just waiting for the character. She's pretending.
Oh, yeah.
You have to
I
go
remember
up and
that one.
talk to her, and she does it so well. All of them are really talented at what they do. Too bad what they do
It
has
started
no
in Asia.
substance.
It started with literal Asian girls.
When you
As
say
NPC
girls,
characters.
hopefully they're fucking old enough.
The thing that confuses
Well,
me the most about the
yeah,
whole thing
I
is
say-
why do people
I
pay money
call
for
women
this?
girls.
Oh, I know, but once you brought Asia
So weird.
into it, you know, you're like, okay.
Asian girls, Asian women, females.
Yeah, I know. It's just
They all do it. I mean, TikTok does have young teenagers on it, so technically, yes, they are girls, and
Yeah.
they don't do
think-
sexual things. They just do the NPC stuff where they sit there and react.
Well, there has to be a level
all
of
dressed up
sexual.
and shit.
There is a sexual element to the NPC.
Not in the beginning, dude. Rule 34, it works a very specific way. A thing comes out, and then we fuck it.
No,
okay?
I mean like the concept of it in its truest form has a level, I think, of control to it, which then you can go into a whole sort of like dom, mommy, daddy sort of thing, where like, haha, now you get to do this thing, haha. But of course, in reality, it works the reverse. She makes a single like flick of her head and says a stupid line, and suddenly you don't pay rent that week, but she does. You know, so where's the control at?
May I ask you a serious question, guy to guy? Have you ever browsed a porn site and gone, oh, that's pretty hot. Oh, fuck, so I'm into this shit now. Oh, wow. Has that never happened to you? Or have you just been very straight-laced, I know what I like and that's it?
I'd say to a degree it's happened. More nuances, like for example, I'm currently on a
course,
hentai kick right now, but there's nuances of hentai that I like, and
Of course, yes. Yeah.
Nice.
There's also different kinds of tentacles, yeah.
Yeah.
He likes hentai.
Oh no,
I love hentai.
Hentai's great.
It's like my favorite shit in the world.
Have you two seen there's a card game out there called Schoolgirls Love Tentacles?
I've never seen that.
I have heard it. Yep. Now that stuff I kind of watch in the background.
Love the name.
It's like nobody else I know really is into it.
If you ever want to gab about your favorite studio, you know, like I'm your man. Let's wrap this one up.
Fantasy World. We hanged out quite a lot in our second year. I liked helping you with stuff and talking about things. I tried to be there when things turned downhill for you. I can give you a whole list of this, but I don't see the point of doing that, since you were there after all.
You like one of our
Wow,
guests.
he's a real wordsmith. So many precious memories. I like this one. I liked helping you with stuff and talking about things. It's also vague. You clearly made some decision alone and tossed me aside like garbage. You didn't even say why. Something I was actually expecting, instead of the that we never were. After almost 4 years of hanging out, since I can't call it friendship, if only I thought it was, it does really hurt me. Honestly, I don't get why even. We could have stayed friends. If you really wanted, you could always just let it diminish with time, after we were done with school, and that would be that. I am not really expecting anymore that we are going to hang out anymore like we used to, since I know you, and I know you are really stubborn. I guess if anything at all, I would at least would know the reason why you tossed me aside.
More wordy than I was wordy than I was expecting. Like we can agree that this guy is kind of unhinged.
Unhinged.
Something tells me it keeps going and going and going and going.
It's getting a bit repetitive. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think we get the gist.
Yeah. So we'll skip that and move on to here's the highlights from the GOP debate. I
mean, in conclusion, stop pitying nice guys. Stop pitying nice girls.
Yeah.
Give them the D. I mean, the truth.
The truth. The truth is the D, depending on who you're asked. Sometimes the D, so is the V and the B's and the other B's.
Yeah.
I agree. That girl just needs to slip that guy some dick, okay?
Which one?
Yes.
All right. Here we go. GOP debate highlight.
Oh, good lord.
This will be. I watched a little bit with on Drug and Peasants, but I didn't watch the whole thing, so there might be a few bangers I didn't hear. Boop.
Donald Trump was not on stage, but 8 other Republican presidential candidates were tonight for their very first debate.
And WGN political reporter Taman Bradley was there. He is live in Milwaukee with our recap tonight. Got a little raucous, Taman.
To say the least, Ray and Dana. Climate change, crime,
education,
abortion, all
sure
of these
do.
red-hot topics covered by the GOP presidential
This guy's
field
a great name, though.
in this
Can we agree?
unofficial kickoff to the 2024 campaign season.
I now know what you'd look like if you were black there, Crendar.
It's on stage here in Milwaukee for the first
Needs more
presidential
beard,
debate.
but otherwise,
Right
yes.
out of the gate, the candidates tried to stand out from the pack.
I was elected as a conservative Republican in a blue
This guy
state
also needs beard.
with 61% of the
those
vote,
jowls need to be
with a
covered up
Democratic
ASAP.
legislature against me the entire time. And we still, through hard, strong decision-making, brought them around to our point of view.
I'm an entrepreneur. My parents came to this country with no money 40 years ago.
Those ears.
I have gone on to found multi-billion-dollar companies. I did it while marrying my wife, Apurva, raising our 2 sons, following our faith in God. That is the American dream. And I am genuinely worried that American dream will not exist for our 2 sons and their generation unless we do something about it.
On the hot-button issue of abortion, the candidates drew contrasts.
What the Democrats are trying
children.
to do
You should
on
care
this
about my
issue
children.
is wrong
What
to
do you
allow
please
abortion
think of
all
the
the way up to
children?
the moment of birth.
We should not have a federal abortion ban.
All those eyebrows.
I'm unapologetically pro-life, not because the Republican Party tells me to be, but
She's
because
the type of woman who says that she has black friends, but she won't shake a black person's hand. You know?
Yeah.
my
get that
husband was
vibe.
adopted, and I had trouble having both of my children, so
She
I'm
follows her
surrounded by
Hispanic
blessings.
maid around the house as she cleans to make sure she doesn't steal anything.
Having said that, we need to stop demonizing this issue. This is talking about the fact that unelected justices didn't need to decide something this personal.
Absent from the 2-hour event, frontrunner Donald Trump. But the candidates were asked to weigh in on the 91 criminal counts the former president faces.
We need to end the weaponization of these federal agents.
Whether or not you believe that the criminal charges are right or wrong, the conduct is beneath the office of president of...
No, it's not. He tried to stage a fucking coup. And he would have had at least 2 of the people up on stage killed had he succeeded. Like he was gonna take out Pence, who still backs him because what do we say about Sims earlier?
Of the United States.
We have to have respect for our justice system and the rule of law, and it starts at the top.
Trying to stay above the fray, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott emphasized his personal
but he's
story.
more obviously.
As a kid who grew up in a single-parent household mired in poverty, I wondered, was the American dream real for kids who were devastated by poverty, devastated by the challenges of life? I came to the conclusion that America can do for anyone what she's done for me if we focus on restoring hope, creating opportunities, and protecting America.
Throughout the debate, former Vice President under Trump, Mike Pence, shared his resume.
I'm the best prepared, the most tested, the most qualified and proven conservative in this race.
It's debate night, but we're not in Milwaukee.
Yeah,
5 minutes before the debate telecast kicked off, a Trump interview with Tucker Carlson.
I love how Chris Tucker has gone like he's a carpenter now. That's his thing, but
He's gone full rogue, man. Yeah.
Yes, the moment he lost the bow tie was the moment he went full like dark side. You know, it was all over.
Yeah. So I just have to say, I just realized, if there's any musicians out there listening, I just had the best idea for a new parody song. We need a parody of Poker Face, but it's Tucker Face.
That works. Make it happen, people.
Somebody please do this.
Played on social media. The former president said he didn't do the debate because he didn't have to.
But we'll get bigger ratings using this crazy form that you're using than probably the debate.
11 months from now, Republicans will return here to Milwaukee to officially.
A few things, guys. As before, if you could help out the stream by like, sharing, subscribing, and helping us reach a goal, great appreciation of it. I have beer here, so I'll chug a beer can, or at least do as much of it as I can when I crack it open. If anyone donates. But also, don't forget my headphones are dying, so I might have to... I did say I was going to end it a bit sooner than today, so I might have to. I have like a bunch of like earbuds over there, but they're shite, so you know, we'll play it by ear when it happens. Literally play it by ear. Trump's going to probably win, even though he wasn't there, but then he'll probably go and get himself impeached, which well, not impeached, but
took long enough.
Indicted. Oh God. Here. First things first. We gotta show this. Wagner boss is dead.
Ooh, wait, what?
Prigozhin. Wagner, the mercenary group that the Russians have in Ukraine. We showed him before. He was the one who staged a coup against Putin, and then they made a peace, and then he went over to Belarus, and him and his 5 of his top staff were flying over like north of Moscow, and
Prigozhin plane crash. What happened?
What a strange coincidence.
A private jet with 10 people on board has crashed in Russia, with the man who led a short-lived mutiny against the country's top brass on the passenger
list. Let's watch the video first and then listen to it. Pravda. Yeah, here's the plane that's getting hit out of the sky. You can see the trail from the missile that hit it.
No, it just malfunctioned and crashed.
Oh yeah, of course. That old Soviet-era tech is starting to show its age.
Yeah. He had that being hit by a missile malfunction.
It did just crash. It didn't get hit by a missile.
What an unfortunate suicide.
Right?
Это беспилотник. Сбили, бабахнуло в 2 раза, взорвалось, падает.
In the back, yes.
Such a shame that he suicided himself with a bullet to the back of the brain, you know?
Ты посмотри, падает.
Took some skill, though.
He apparently made his money from catering. That's
what he became a billionaire.
Не видать. Вон. Около фермы.
I feel sorry for the crew, and other than that, oh no, a bunch of fascists are now dead. He should have drove straight
Не
to
пойму,
Moscow.
У фермы нет.
No, that's my thing. He should have just drove. He should have just like said, "Fuck it." When he was doing the coup and being asked like to stop, he should have been like, "No, I'm gonna be leader now." Because at least then we could have gotten. He probably would have failed, but Putin might have also been killed. So you know, 2 birds with 1 stone. This is some like fucking like James Bond shit.
And wouldn't it be weird to just come across this as a random citizen?
Yeah, they don't know who's on board that plane. Like they're freaking the hell out.
I'm pretty sure anyone within like 4 to 5 miles would have heard it falling out of the sky.
Yeah.
Something that big falling out of the sky doesn't fall silently.
Definitely. But
and it makes quite an impact when it
see
hits.
it would be weird.
Yeah. And it makes quite an impact that can be felt in the ground for, I mean, at least, I don't know, less than a mile.
Nobody tripped across this accidentally by surprise, for sure.
Not in Moscow, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Not in Russia's capital.
Nope.
The question I want to ask about that particular thing is what made them record just this random plane in the sky and track it?
Well, they heard the explosion. They looked up and they saw the plane falling.
So there was an event that preceded the video recording.
Yeah, you can see the smoke. Like we can go back. Like you can actually see the smoke from the probably the anti-air missile that was launched. They would have known where his flight was going. Like, look at it. Oh, you can't because of course they blur it when you pause it. Like, if you go back, what do you think all that is?
It's mighty suspicious is what it is.
Yeah, and then it just goes straight down. Now the other thing could have been, I don't know, the pilot's
Clued
disappear. But Prigozhin disappear. Prigozhin disappear.
Yeah.
I normally don't show deaths on the stream, but
who exactly was in that plane again?
The head of the Wagner military group out of Ukraine.
Right, and what is the significance of this group?
Okay, so do you remember that there was a coup in Russia a few months back, or an attempted one? His army turned on him, and was moving to Moscow. He was the one leading that.
Okay, so this is someone who's going against Russia.
Yeah, he was before the war, he was a multi-billionaire oligarch who was like a big white nationalist, talking about like restoring Russia's glory, talking about how the Anglo-Saxons are keeping the Slavs down, all this sort of blood and soil fascist shit. And he raised up a huge private military group that's now off in Africa doing a bunch of crazy shit, securing gold mines and shit. And when the war started, they went in and they were the ones who did like a lot of like the beheading videos. And they did a lot of like gang rapes and shit like that. They're the ones who took the kids away. And he's like, we have to do it. We have to wipe out these Ukrainians because they're filth and we are the glorious Russians and all that. But then the war started to go a bit bad for Russia, and he wouldn't shut up about like criticizing Moscow. And Moscow didn't like that back because Putin's skin is like eggshell thin. So the two started to have an ego off. And then Wagner said, fuck it, I'm taking over. After Putin said that he would combine all the mercenaries into the regular Russian army. So he's like, you're not going to do that. And nothing was stopping him. Like there was any Russian attempts to stop him as he was driving up to Moscow was met with just like tons of gunfire. So just before he entered Moscow, Putin made a deal with him, and he went over to Belarus. And then he probably thought he was safe, and now his plane falls from the sky, and he is no longer a problem.
What a strange coincidence.
Almost like a message was being sent or something like that. I'm all for it though, inter-rivalry. Oh, and it happened on Ukraine's Independence Day, which is great. Zelensky's having a field day over that one. But yeah, no worries. I mean, it's so complicated, but like at the core of it, a very bad man who did a lot of bad things is dead, and you know. Yes. Now here's another bad man, Zach Braff.
War is a lot more messy than people want to, make it out to be. It's not this
good
black and white thing. No. It's not a game of Risk. It's not D&D. It's not that simple. It's extremely complicated.
War where it was like. Everyone was bad and everyone was good. You could say World War II, but like I've talked to like veterans from World War II on the German side and the Italian side, and they wouldn't have thought themselves as evil. They were, death camps and shit like that. The Axis were bad, but they wouldn't have seen themselves as that because no one sees themselves as evil. The Russians are fucking stealing children and forcing people to, like, at gunpoint to renounce Ukraine as an ethnic group, and invading another country and eyeing up Poland too, and the Baltic countries. They're becoming like an evil empire again, and yet you ask them in the street and they'll have all these explanations talking about ethnic purity and like how the West needs to be stood up against and blah 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 blah. They are fucking tools, and I have sympathy for them, but every time I hear of a drone strike in Moscow, I'm like, well, you reap what you fucking sow.
They don't realize that the West is the US and the EU, clearly.
Which is
they don't understand. They don't understand the powers that they're coming up against.
They are
the
now.
Fact that, I mean, I know that China and Russia shook hands.
They don't really like each other.
They're
doing
things.
It just because China's interests kind of align. They'll turn on each other the first chance they get.
So, yeah, Russia has a whole lot of fucking resources that China needs. And China has all the shit that Russia needs to mine those resources.
Yeah.
So that's why they have started a relationship.
It's the same with
so
Iran.
that they can try and start to compete with the West, because they can't. They lack the resources to do so.
You're describing, I think it's called BRIC. It's like an acronym for something, and it's meant to be like a rival trade bloc made up out of basically all the tin pot smaller nations of the world that don't like Western sanctions, and they're trying to get around.
Right.
So, but like, if you ask them about each other, they'll be like, "Oh, I can't stand this country because A, B, C, D." But they're like, "Well, we still need to trade with somebody." So but here's something a little more lighthearted. Zach Braff taught Elmo a new word.
The fans don't really like red.
It's really popular too.
Fans don't really like
in certain places.
The red puppets, but the Muppets that are red. I'm this up. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm sorry. Don't take that word to Sesame Street, okay?
Why not?
Because the kids should not know that word. It's a
But
bad
if you say it, everyone can say it.
Okay, fine. You're right. Take it back to Sesame.
Yeah!
The fans don't really.
Didn't the voice actor of Elmo
in character the whole time?
Didn't the voice actor of Elmo, didn't he get into trouble for something like sexual assault claims or some shit like that?
Nah, I don't know.
Yeah.
The original voice actor?
Black guy, right?
Yeah, he was in that rock and roll Mother Goose's Rock and Rhyme movie.
Oh yeah, vaguely remember that one. But
yeah, that was some unhinged, fucking cracked out. That was the most cracked out movie Disney ever made. I don't even know how that happened.
That's
dude.
saying something.
Shelley Duvall,
Duvall.
I love that girl. I love her so much.
Oh, we need to look at this. Do you remember the Liver King? This is
Oh no, is this the Liver King?
This is the Liver King. This is from Charlie.
Why does he look so old?
Well, because of his fucking diet and his terrible lifestyle choices.
Of 2022, the Liver King was one of the biggest names in the fitness industry.
Charlie's hair looks really
but
nice today.
At the beginning of the year, a mere 8 months ago, it all came crumbling down thanks to one video from More Plates, More Dates, where he exposed that Liver King's entire online presence was based upon a lie. Liver King had always preached the primal lifestyle, known for eating a bunch of wacky foods and raw meats. Like, he has more testing.
Sorry, what was that?
Raw meat is nasty.
And he used steroids. He even admitted to it on multiple occasions.
Yeah,
He's used steroids. It's not natural or whatever.
It was like 14 a day, if I remember right. He was just getting injected.
Holy shit.
Yep. He had a guy whose sole job was to do it, inject him.
His health is slipping? You don't say.
No, really?
He looks. That picture there made him look like a wizened old potato.
Yeah, what a lot of people don't understand is when they do cardio and exercise to a cardiac stent while taking muscle-enhancing drugs is they are also enhancing the heart. What they don't understand is that an oversized heart is weaker and suffers from just as many complaints as an undersized, weak heart.
Hey, that's what happened to Billy the Fridge. Luna, you know this. Like, he got rushed to hospital because his heart was just, like, had just expanded like crazy. His ventricle or something like that, one of his arteries.
Yeah, it's not working at full capacity.
That could have killed him so easily. God, good thing he got it. Like,
he's a tough one. Bill Fridge is a tough one. He's been through a lot. It's going to take a lot to take that boy down.
True, but it was, you
He's
could
so
tell
sweet and tall.
It was a big wake-up call, and like, he can't fuck around with his diet anymore. Because the keto diet lost him a lot of weight, but then he kind of blew him back up again. He thought probably he could keep on doing it. Well, clearly not. You know?
We know how sweet and tall Billy is because he told us so.
Repeatedly. Aggressively so, in fact. Even though his IMDb says different.
Suspiciously so, perhaps.
One of the most unusual factors about excessively overweight people, I'm talking like people like twice the size of Bill, is they go on these massively restrictive diets to save their lives, but they actually end up dying of malnutrition. They aren't getting the same nutrient levels that they require to exist in the excessively large scale.
Yeah, you have to ease off that. It's why in the reverse, it's why when you have a starving person, like say in one of those refugee camps in like Yemen, you know, like they have to give you a specific sort of ration pack, that stuff that looks like peanut butter, if you're that level of starvation, because your body will just not be able to
syndrome.
Yep. Happened after
Refeeding syndrome.
After the concentration camps were liberated, the American soldiers couldn't help them except to give them food from their own packs, but it was too rich, and they just would drop dead. Like they'd have like a system failure because their bodies couldn't process that much calories.
Massive blood sugar spikes, calorific overload. Yeah,
we have to remember, like, our bodies are really goddamn fragile. Like,
but at the same time, they're also not. They're anti-fragile. We actually have an anti-fragile system, which means when we get hurt, we heal over, right? And our body actively fights with an immune system. We're not as fragile as we think we are, but we can, over time, do massive amounts of damage that's irreversible.
And age will do the thing. Like, between the last time you were here and now, I've got a sciatica, and I'll never not have a sciatica now. That fucking sucks, and that's entirely down from me having a really bad posture on a chair that I spend hours and hours and hours and hours in. And you know what's made me do
there goes
now?
my spine.
On the plus side, it does make me hit the treadmill a lot more, which is the only way to really relieve it, is just to keep the leg in constant motion. But which is great because it's helped me lose weight and shit. But and giving me some pretty nice looking calves. Let me tell you that. I look good. I look good in some big bright white rugby socks. You know.
Articles in his videos than Riley Reid's entire filmography. His.
I'm entitled to get a fitting at the very least. I know a place. Ireland has kilts too.
His big thing was eating all of these testicles and slurping down tons of liver, gluttonously consuming an endless supply of exotic meats, and all the while preaching that it's ancestral living. And he'd lead his followers to believe that if they purchase his supplements and his supplies and eat like him, they could.
I don't understand why they would even want to eat raw meat.
Obviously,
like,
a lot of people fell hook,
there.
line, and sinker for that scam.
Like, you can see on their faces, they don't like the flavor, or definitely not the texture, but they're doing it to own the libs and be true of their ancestors and blah blah blah. And then they get stomach parasites and die. You know,
I don't know if it's to own the libs.
He has a very impressive physique. He looks like an
that to own the libs. Some of them do. Yeah. And those sort of people need to be introduced to a good friend called Mr. Darwin. You know?
Yeah, for some people, everything is quite political, isn't it? Some people just make everything political.
Again, we're all going to meet Darwin eventually. Go ahead.
So, well, all of these dietary clowns don't understand is a condition called vitaminosis, right? And that is excessive levels of any vitamin or mineral. All of these things that help us really work well and things like that, and eating liver will definitely result in a vitamin A vitaminosis, which results in a toxic level. You reach a level of toxicity in your body that you as a human can no longer deal with. And this happens all across the scale. You can no longer buy vitamins that exist in fat levels anymore, that maintain in your fat, that get absorbed into your fat cells, simply because of vitaminosis. They stay in the body and they reach toxic levels. So if you take a vitamin pill every single day, you will end up reaching a toxic level. This is something
anime character straight out of Baki the Grappler. The goofball's got muscles on his body that haven't even been invented yet. And his veins are just bulging out of his skin. It looks like they're transporting diesel throughout his body. And he would keep telling them, like, if you work hard, you buy my shit, you eat like me, you live like me, following the ancestral tenets, you can be like me, look like me. And it was all completely a lie. It turns out he was juiced to the gills. He was on tons and tons of performance-enhancing products, and More Plates, More Dates brought that to the public eye. Eventually, it forced Liver King himself to just admit that he lied about all of it. He lied. His body isn't the result of following the ancestral tenets or glorbing down on animal testicle for every meal. It's the result of steroids. So, I saw a video floating around on Twitter today, one of his more recent posts, and he's looking extremely rough. So I just wanted to do a little checkup on where Liver King is 8 months post-exposing.
In the modern world, we like to have our bowl of cereal.
He looks like Good Time Johnny. Oh no.
Cereal, don't we? This is a primal version of your bowl of cereal. I got my testicles in farm fresh milk from Liver King Ranch.
Yeah, it's business as usual. He's doing the exact same
meat for one meal too.
Stuff as he was prior to having all of the steroid usage come to light. But it looks like he's aged 20 years in the last 8 months. It looks like he's
wonderfully muscular homeless person.
Yeah. Like you wonder, like, what's the monthly fees on the hobo gym that he lives in, you know?
He's one testicle sandwich away from actually exploding. In every TikTok I've seen of him, his body is
Mr. Kratos, put Liver King. One wafer thin steroid.
bright red. It looks like Arnold's face in the movie Total Recall when he takes his helmet off in space and his eyes pop out of his skull, like right before blowing up. That's what Liver King's body looks like. It looks like it is struggling to stay in one piece. Also, a lot of people on Twitter pointed this out, and it's a really good point. It is still so silly how he keeps calling his diet primal living, eating like our ancestors, when this is the furthest thing from primal eating. All of his meals are meticulously prepared by his personal chef and his whole team. He used to say this thing on his videos where if you don't hunt it, you don't eat it.
Also,
which is
history.
Just so...
He's got milk and he's got chicken there, right? The domesticated cow is not primal. That came as far back as like the
16th, 17th century, isn't it?
BC, yeah, I think so. And the chicken is way more recent. Like the Romans called it the new bird because it had just hit Europe. So that ain't primal. That's like you want primal. Go out and find like a blueberry bush and eat from that.
This is a muscular idiot that thinks the Flintstones was a documentary.
and
salesman. Personally, I think he's just a salesman.
Dumb, because clearly he's not hunting for all.
Oh yeah, it's a grift.
This meat, like he's eating more meat than Luffy in One Piece. There is no way he'd be able to hunt for all of that. The only reason he's able to eat like he does in these videos is because he is indulging in the modern excess. He is doing nothing even remotely associated with living primal.
What's the difference between Liver King and Nikocado Avocado?
I knew you'd bring that, and the answer is, you know what? I have more respect for Nick because Nick at least acknowledged that he was eating trash. You know,
it was like an art form for him. I mean, if you go back through his like log of work, Nikocado Avocado is really doing something to his body in a way that's showing us how fucked up everything is on YouTube and in general with society and how we view each other and how we treat each other.
We go in reverse, Eugenia Cooney, you know?
Yeah, and we push that girl right into the arms of predators, if you haven't noticed. By pushing her in that direction, we push her right into the arms of
her mother is the biggest predator of them all because she's the one that wants her constantly to do this. Like,
yeah,
she needs to be separate. She was briefly separated from her mother, and her mother redeemed, and they rejoined, and now she's gone right back to. I saw a picture of her a few days ago.
This might be why a lot of people say that capitalism is evil, because it creates a market in which people can grift like this, and it can come across as to other people who feel a little unequal as cheating or unfair. But to me, this is what absolute freedom is. You eat what you want to eat, even if it kills you.
Yeah.
That's your God-given right, your indivisible human right to do that. And I can't stop you. The only thing I can control is me. And, like, your rights and where my rights begin kind of mentality here.
Here's a major difference between Nick and Liver King. Nick never said go out and do it. Liver King does. He tries to
That's actually a very good point. Yes.
Yeah.
You are very, very on to that. Yes, that's a good one.
Liver wanted to have like his whole lifestyle. Nick just wanted people to go like have a little bit of shock value, a little bit of fun, a little bit of gawking at just like the quantity of food and
the entire log is him being resentful towards the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, laugh at
Almost
this funny
100%.
fat man. Kind of
Yeah. Oh, look at me. I'm fat and funny. You guys did this to me. Look what you've done to me.
That's also another thing with Liver King.
Literally right in our face.
It was never fun.
And he's right. He's not wrong about that.
I guess aside from the bed he sleeps on, because he basically sleeps on a fucking plank of wood, dude goes to bed in a coffin like a muscle vampire. That's like the only ancestral type thing he does, because his diet is the furthest thing from it. It is literally the result of being super privileged in the modern excess era.
The most feared warriors, the Maasai.
Oh.
What they get down on is milk, meat, and blood. And they are expressing a higher, more dominant form. If you still want your primal cereal to taste like Cocoa Pebbles at the end.
That weak-ass chocolate powder that he's dumping in from his brand is not going to salvage this primal bowl of cereal. It's not going to make it taste like Cocoa Pebbles. It's going to make it taste like Cocoa
powder.
Puke.
Primal
it also really made
incarnate. Even though
if that man eats a pig liver, he will die in a few months. The parasites that are transferable. I mean, we have food standards that stop these things, but this is why many religions say thou shalt not eat cloven hooved animals and things like that, simply because of pigs. Pigs have lots, almost all, transmissible parasites make that jump from animals to humans through pigs.
Yeah, they're not holy animals. They are literally just carrying diseases and not being cooked and prepared properly.
And he will have to take worming pills or something in order to stay alive, because...
Well, here's another one. Yeah. You reminded me though. You said pork. Well, we actually Luna, again, since you were here last, we have a new roster that we show nearly every episode. I think after this is time. What do you know of sausages and of the ordinary variety?
Of the ordinary variety? You mean like the ones you make with like a meat grinder and intestine?
Yeah, maybe with a strong
like
Chicagoan
the
voice.
Like hot links? They're not even called sausages.
Yeah.
Kielbasa.
Okay, so you know your basic your sausage lore. Now we're gonna introduce you to a man who takes that and then throws it out the window.
Okay.
Achievable. Period. Full stop. Now another thing he's begun doing on his TikTok is he's been posting a lot more content in very expensive shit that is very clearly not ancestor living. So this is a screenshot from one of his more recent TikToks where he's on his private jet and has his personal chef Lionel serve him up some snakes on a plane. So he makes some snakes for him to eat. It's clearly a joke off of the old meme, you know, motherfucking snakes on the plane and all that. So he's very tardy to the party on that meme. That one died like a decade ago. But what's really interesting here is that he
might as well go to a VR place and then he goes and he's like pretending to be like a caveman.
That's what he's doing already, isn't it?
Yeah, but now he gets to like be in a VR setup that's like a living video game. Which, you know, if he did that, I'd watch that at least once on a live stream just to see how insane it would be.
Primal, sir.
It could be the cartoon Primal, which is very primal and heavily focused around eating meat. Oh, Devious, you were going to say something? Sorry, I cut you off there.
Oh, no, not at all. It's. I was merely going to comment again, yet more biology. My apologies.
Go for it.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Let's. Your battery is running low. Let's move on.
Let's get to the sausage.
Plant sausage.
Ordinary sausage. Now, ordinary sausage. The premise of him is simple. He will get suggestions from the chat to make a sausage or something equivalent. He also goes around the Chicagoland area and sometimes a little bit further afield to try particular sausage restaurants.
I have seen them. Yes. He's popped up in my recommended a few times. I really like sausage.
Oh, this one has a crossover.
Ooh, hell yeah. Sausage is great.
Yeah. Not most of the sausages he makes. Some look
he got
amazing.
the little computer. I want that. That's a little computer, little robot game.
What?
It's just like, it's kind of like a Tamagotchi, but not. It's just a bunch of mini games, and it's just this tiny, cute little mini computer.
Back.
It is very tiny and cute.
Yes?
So you gonna try and make that into sausage?
No, he's gonna make helium apparently.
Mama. Oh, hello there. I didn't see you come in,
even
though
British,
I set this
'cause
camera
he's
up
got baked
myself.
beans.
You gotta mix it, that's the trick. So, Mr. Sausage, you cheated us out of a proper air sausage. Could you instead make a helium one for us? Oh wait, sorry, that's my phone. Hello, Parliament. I need more beans. Why would they ring me?
I knew it. I knew they loved those beans. YouTuber video suggestions. What an
British.
animal, eating it right out of the can. But you gotta jump is not, what have you?
Balloon time. Don't forget that we're going to be pretty soon hitting a helium shortage, and this is a very useful useful chemical in like it aren't like heart monitors or like CAT scan machines, don't they require helium? And what do we use it for?
Sausages are important though. We need to do this.
Yeah,
It's
this is a
balloon
case
time,
where it
baby.
is important, but
Yes.
I hope future generations understand that.
Ow, my ear! And now we find
I
out
thought
that this was a waste
balloon
of
helium was
$30.
not the same as hospital helium. I thought it was different.
They're altered, but like aren't they both coming from helium, and then they do something in the refinery and then ship them out as like balloon helium and hospital helium, and the other thing I can't remember what that is. If anyone in the chat knows what industrial helium is used for, please tell me.
The Hindenburg is the other
Yes,
thing.
and that ended so well. I still want to go on a Zeppelin at least once, or like a proper blimp. Probably no more Zeppelins.
That'd be
anymore,
cool.
But a blimp, yeah. The Goodyear blimp. Yeah, I want to go on the Goodyear blimp.
It's used for supercooling in scientific purposes. Helium has a much lower phase change level, so they kind of go down in phase changes. So sort of like liquid oxygen.
Uh-oh. I think it happened.
Wants to reach absolute zero.
Nope.
It's
good. We're good. Sorry.
You cut out for a second.
Yeah, sorry about that.
For the two final ones, I think it goes down to helium and hydrogen to reach absolute zero in things like cyclotrons, particle accelerators.
Yeah, there's Red Eye in the
For
chat.
superconductors.
He's agreeing with you there.
Oh, it burst! We'll have to be a little bit
condom?
more delicate.
It is now.
It doesn't float. Stupid.
You lied to me, Pennywise.
There's no floating. Okay, here.
Gee, I wonder what's gonna happen.
Go!
Oh, after this, I have to show you the one that we watched last week. Wait, were you there for it when we looked at it and it was the fire one? The one that just went pure flames?
Was I there? Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good, because we watched a lot of stuff over that night. 'Cause remember, I had three
Wasn't
one
that just-
right after.
Wasn't that just like a booze sausage of some sort?
Yeah, it was a whiskey sausage.
Who asked, is that a condom? Who asked that?
I think
I
the
did.
helium.
Okay, fun fact. sheep's intestine used to actually be made for condoms. Like back in the day, they used to make condoms literally out of sheep intestine.
And silk for the wealthy people. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think Romans had condoms, and I think they were the sheep's intestines. They basically haggis your dick.
Yes! He's leaking! Alright,
Take a
so
bite
we know
of
it's
these
not
big,
gonna burst.
juicy
We'll give
haggis.
it a quick sear. Oh no! This room is filled with helium! Alright, we're gonna give it a light sear this time. You think you can ask Parliament to get me a discount on beans? And that's gonna be good enough. Oh, this one's a foot long. Helium sausage!
Oh, no.
Here we go! It tastes like undercooked salty hog casing. But unlike the air sausage, this one doesn't taste like breath of pig. It kinda tastes like salty hog casing with a minty aftertaste. So that's a bit of a disappointment. So I'm gonna have to give the helium sausage half a point.
They've done worse.
No.
Helium can't be consumed.
Nope.
Oh,
I mean,
it's too powerful.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
This truly awful
Only
suggestion.
temporarily, because the helium molecule is smaller than the steel or iron molecules that the containers are made of, so it all leaks out.
Mm-hmm. It's time we Kool-Aid this chicken. There's like a million instructions for this. How hard is it to make Kool-Aid?
Kool-Aid.
That's a green you will not soon forget, my friend. This
Now, why
seems
could
like
Liver
an
King
obscene
cook
amount
like
of
this?
sugar
This
for
is
such
primal.
little Kool-Aid. 2 quarts of what? This is ridiculous. It's like high C ectoplasm. And whoa, that was a stronger reaction than I thought. All right,
Oh,
I think
before we
this
go,
thing's
before we start wrapping up, has Trump's mugshot been released yet? Because I want to see that. It'd be great to see it on stream.
Oh yeah, that'll be great to see.
They've been threatening it for a few hours now, well, past day, and they say, oh, later on today we'll release it, like, only a few hours and we'll
ready
release
to
it.
roll. Let's do a quick cook check. It's still raw. That's why you don't dump the Kool-Aid chicken water before
Of
you've
course.
confirmed it's fully cooked into the briny depths. It's gotta be done by
the
now,
Kool-Aid
right?
scum.
Golly, that is some nuclear green chicken. Alright, it's done. Alright, and now we'll give it a little taste test. It doesn't taste like Kool-Aid, it tastes like straight up plain chicken. None of the sugar has penetrated this or stayed on it. So I'm gonna have to give this chicken
So it
here,
just dyed your chicken. That actually was cool.
And it opens up a lot of possibilities for other dyed food if it's not going to...
Just remember though, if you're seriously going to do this, actually, then sear the meat before you put it in. Don't just boil it.
You can parboil
Some flavor.
almost anything and then sear it the rest of the way, and it tastes delicious.
It's a raccoon, and it's playing an instrument.
Oh my. Did you know that raccoons see through their hands?
Good job, Bobby.
I knew that they had scent glands in their hands. I didn't know they actually saw with their hands.
Yeah, their brain is shaped in a certain way, and there's so many sensory receptors in their hands that they can see with their hands, like blind people.
I would
blind
not
people
like to
can-
smell things with my hands.
Yeah, I know where my hands have been, you know.
Especially not with my job.
One of my favourite shark facts is your hair, a single hair from the human head, is roughly, give or take, about 500 microns across, and your fingertips are sensitive enough to feel the microscopic level, right? And great white sharks have as many nerve endings around their teeth as we have in our fingertips.
Whoa.
They literally mouth feel the world around them.
Damn.
Whoa.
They're the ultimate food snobs.
Yeah. So, I've been getting more and more into this random acts of magic, especially street magic. It's all fake. I'm not thinking this is actual like mystical stuff, but I love anything done well. anything done well. And the really good magic shows can be like spectacles. They're brilliant.
1, 2, and pull the head completely off. So look, the best way to stop a girl from nagging is doing this. You take a cloth and you just put it over her head like that. There we go. Perfect. Covered, easy, never nag again. No, I'm joking. You're right under there, yeah? I'm good. You're right. You're good, yeah? So what? 1, 2, and pull the head completely off.
Like,
that guy's not a plant at all.
Yeah, obviously, like, but like if you're like standing around them, you're like, well, what the fuck? You know, like, obviously this is all like they're all in on it, but not everyone in the shot would be. So that's the. Hold on. Woo! Hay fever's got a hay fever. Hay fever. That's a real word. It is now, anyway. We'll see about just wrapping up the stuff. I'll be getting back into working out. I would not go to the gym.
Oh, I feel sorry for that guy's spine. These try-hard motherfuckers everywhere.
I'm good.
Tryhards? I don't know about that. Some people are just built differently, man.
Yeah.
Some people just can get it all fucking day. You know what I mean?
True.
There is no off button. Their off button is death.
They're just tryhard by nature, is what it is.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah.
Bear.
Just and you know what? That's fine. I'm cool. I'm cool with people getting. You know, I think it's every human being should experience their limits. You know, and push themselves to it. For sure.
So Bear is attacking this guy, and we love our bears here. So what were you doing wrong, motherfucker? Why did you insult this bear?
Oh my god!
Fucking bear just comes right out of the sun. Look how close his muzzle came. Like one bite and it'd have been over.
Fucking climbing up a mountain? Like, what is he doing?
Look how close it was.
I think he might be climbing up a mountain.
And the bear was like, meat good.
Climber. Yeah, he's climbing up a mountain.
That bear is like, oh good, my Uber has arrived. My Uber Eats just got here.
Punching this guy in the fucking face.
He's making that noise to kind of scare it off, but he's also pissing himself, so.
Oh god, yeah, I would be fucking pissing myself too.
Like, we stand our bear friends on this channel, but like, they're your friends from afar. Don't let them come near you. They're fucking bears.
I'm sorry, but that's exactly why I will never go climbing or camping without weaponry. Like, at least a knife and maybe even like a small handgun.
Hello everyone, this is your Daily Dose of Internet. A scientist wanted to see if it was a good idea to use the hand dryers found in public bathrooms. So he decided to do an experiment.
Oh, no.
After 3 days, this was the bacteria growth he found after using it.
Yeah, guys, if you've never studied microbiology,
Heat in my car, maybe.
Horrifying.
I know it's out there. I prefer not to think about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you realize, like, if you actually have a understanding of micro, you will never ever be clean.
Yeah.
You know what the best part about science is? You know, they leave what I'm about to say out. They leave the controlled variable out. So like when you don't clean your hands ever, when you don't clean anything, period, they don't show you the results of that. They'll show you the results of the little variables and things that they did and tweaked and this and that, but they won't. In that clip, they're not going to show you what it would actually look like if you didn't clean anything ever. Because that would be
terrifying.
Like, that would be like wave 10 into killing floor. You know what I'm saying? Lead fluid everywhere. Sorry.
You keep restarting the videos while people are still talking.
Sorry. But I am now pondering, like, I'm a race against time, my headphones and all that.
Yeah.
You know?
New York looked like a pregame lobby for a video game.
Fucking Fortnite, dude, in Central Park.
This guy.
Pineapple dude.
What the actual heck
This
is
is gonna
happening in
sound
that
bad.
park?
It's New York. It's an average day.
Cartoon pot sound. That is amazing.
Love it.
You can see exactly when his laser breaks his phone's camera.
Oh no!
You should mind your business. Yeah. Okay.
This is what sun damage looks like. This
Yeah,
person
okay.
worked for 40 years outside in the sun, but always wore long pants.
Yep. My dad's skin looked like that. He was always working.
This monkey was amazed by this magic trick.
Like you could like wear factor and shit like that, and if it's not too bad, like it won't affect you too much. But I mean, yeah, if you want super soft skin, being out in like blazing sun every day or freezing cold winds is not going to do it for you.
Moisturize.
Whoa.
That's a big boog.
This floating island was blocking
Oh
a
my
bridge,
God.
so all these boats worked together to move it.
Oh, that's cool.
Ooh.
Floaty island.
Teamwork.
Could you try and stay awake just for a little bit? You just slept for 3 hours.
I'm gonna be this baby. What's my
And you
first
just-
stream?
This is one of the most impressive things I've ever seen.
Fucking bowling ball basketball. What the fuck? Oh! Nice. Would fuck the floor up though.
Giddy.
Whoa!
Thundercat.
That was cool.
Technically, like the cat.
Geese are notorious for not being afraid of anything, but the one thing they do fear is green lasers.
See, Canada? This is how you defend yourselves.
Oh no, they're working Canadian geese.
They just start attacking the spot, the ground.
They come at you, they notice you.
Ooh.
Rude.
Swans.
Yeah, swans are dicks.
Swans are such assholes,
Oh,
man.
it's there's a good chance when you're like walking your dog around here, you'll see a swan. Do not let your dog go near it. It might kill the dog if it's small enough. And here's the trick: if you let your dog kill the swan, which is surprisingly easy, they have really like their necks are actually really sensitive. If you do that, you'll be fined thousands or face even jail time because they're an endangered species. So you're kind of damned either way. I also saw one a swan attack its babies at one point.
Yeah, I'm okay with swans kind of like evolutionarily petering out. They're assholes.
Yeah,
They're not very nice birds. They're
Maybe
not
they
very
can
nice.
take
Like, have you seen what they do to the females? Like, holy shit.
Oh. Maybe as they die off, they could take the mosquitoes with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just
At least
them and the
with
ticks.
mosquitoes, I could argue they're a necessary food source for other creatures.
Never say that around TJ Kirk. He had a whole video on that very topic. This is the rats in New York City once again. They're probably watching Pineapple Guy.
Adorable.
Aw.
Oh, look at them.
Little splinters.
Yeah. Dee 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 dee.
Oh, this
That is the
yeah.
end of this video. We hope you
They've been doing a
enjoyed.
trend of different of animals being swung around like this.
And I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Later.
It was so derpy.
It's just the tongue flopping out. So cute.
So adorably derpy.
Wee.
Epic
I'm watching it a
backfire.
second time on the delay.
Hold on. Oh, it's probably a little too long. 12 minutes.
That's way too long.
Yeah.
Nobody can tolerate Karens that long.
Yeah, maybe at the beginning. Deadly booby trap. Oh, this is crazy. This was doing the rounds. This shit.
Whoa!
Fucking hell.
Shit. Look at that fucking thing. Yo, that would fucking straight up killed you right in your fucking head, dude. What's his house? His house ain't fucking up. Look at that.
What?
Yo, coming right to your head.
Is that attached to a crutch?
Yes.
Yes.
Jesus.
Right in your fucking head. No, hold on. You need to stop more. You need to step off. Yo, that would have got you right in your fucking neck. Oh my God, right in his head. No, my heart. Yo, you got his head. Because, by the time you're gonna be there, it's right by your head. Watch walking up there, man. Yo, rip that down. Oh, yeah. How do you know he's not booby trapped again?
In an abandoned house, do you think it's like hobos defending their squat?
Maybe.
No, I think it's drug people protecting their drugs.
Oh yeah, that's probably more accurate. Good point.
Well, we have to bring
Yeah.
back. I don't suppose you remember Professor Landon or Lando, I should say, not Landon. He,
I think so.
He does. Yeah, he does all like the hentai lore and shit like that, and like jokes, usually on a live stream. He's now going to talk about the ideal male body size.
So here we have 4 body types here on the spectrum. Twinks, bears, fit, skelly mode, and then right here would be otter mode. When we're
Otter
thinking
mode.
purely physical, I think we need a good frame of reference. So here we have twinks and bears like we talked about. And here we have bodybuilders, right? Athletics. Overall, generally, I would say these are the fit body types. And over here, we have skelly mode. This is the Asmongols of the world are right here. Femboys could be anywhere in like this zone. This range, I think, is like the most attractive range, purely physical, right? Because here, you're still very much masculine, very fit. Still, if you notice, look at the range for femboys. You're still in femboy territory. The best of both worlds. You can have your...
How rare would it be if like a femboy was like really ripped? They're usually really lean, or they have like the soft breeding hip. Basically, Luna, they look like you. Their goal is to look like you. and hey, you know, that's a compliment. They've got a goal to reach.
They can try. They can try.
Most of them are too bloody focused on Monster Energy drinks and going woo woo on stream to put the effort that you do in. So
cake and eat it too. Oh. So here we have 4 body types here.
Also, while he brought up the bear, he didn't bring up the DILF bod, you know? Which is not quite a bear, because DILFs tend to have like a bit of muscle on them. But bears tend to have... Well, you can have muscly bears.
They're squishy. They're squished
Yeah.
to a bear. Because you can cuddle them and squish them.
They are soft and fuzzy and will attack
Yes.
mountain climbers. I actually haven't checked his stuff out in a while. Explaining the bussy? Oh, we have to.
Being a femboy, dressing effeminate, again, can be a sort of gender expression role. It doesn't always have to be sexual. However, maybe a little misguided to completely ignore that side of things. So, you know, we're going to be talking about
You can say it's
bussy.
like 80%.
Why is it so submissive and breedable? On the surface level, one might consider a male's entrance to be the exact opposite of breedable. I think it has to do with subversion. The fact that the male entrance is not supposed to be bred, like a cookie jar that your mom left out. You only have one after dinner. Don't go near that cookie jar. You know, don't go, hey, get out of my, get away from my pussy. I can't think of anything more masculine than
Yo,
making
dog, that's my
another
pussy, and I
male
did not give you consent.
submit their pussy to you. The ultimate act of masculinity. In fact, the ultimate act of heterosexuality. Being a femboy.
Oh, it's the fuck of... This sounds like Vosh right now. Describing how they like their men and their women.
I don't know, that ultimate act of heterosexuality thing at the end just gave me Fuentes vibes.
I was gonna say, isn't that the same excuse that
That's
the
what we
Cray
call.
twins used to use?
That's what we call projection.
Yeah.
That's I don't want to admit I'm gay.
Yeah, one of the
That's
Cray
what that
brothers
is.
was gay, but
And in other words,
expressed it as the ultimate male sexuality to fuck other males. He didn't think he was gay. He
damn.
Just wanted
See,
to
Luna understands why I said that was Fuentes energy right there.
Yeah.
Hell,
going on here?
He still gets angry though when people call him gay because of course that's the grift. He doesn't want to admit it. Be honest with yourself, Nick. Go to Catboy Ranch and be Catboy Ranching all day long. Okay, drink the boy milk. Young woman floors guy with a huge right hook in a bizarre street fight outside a pub. Bizarre? No, it's a street fight outside a pub in Scotland. It's a given.
It'd be bizarre if there wasn't one.
Right? Like a Dothraki wedding is a boring affair unless there's 3 deaths. It's, most towns in Scotland need to have at least one fist fight in the street. Woo, boo, boo.
There goes your milk.
My boy milk, no. Jesus. Oh.
Ah!
Oh, wow, that could have killed him. That could have killed him. See how close his head was to the ballard?
Mm.
Holy
Well, he started it, so it's too
How
bad.
did everybody just not slow down for a second? That woman literally just helped him. I'm not sure if it's a woman or a boy that's getting smacked around right now.
Well, he turns on her.
Well, he thinks it's her. He just got picked up off the ground. He has no idea who's who, right?
Mm.
So he obviously thinks that's the woman that attacked him in the first place because the one who did attack him ran.
He flung a shoe at her. And they're still fucking destroying each other over there.
Holy shit. What's fucking going on?
Come to
Oh, my
Blighty.
goodness.
See a show from the safety of your window, from an upstairs window, looking down. You know it's rough because all the windows have like bars and shit. I can go for a little while longer, but my headphones can't. So let's wrap this up by going to our dancing lad. He's flamboyant.
He likes to do a jig is all.
He does. Buff Corell. Oh, Eric July's being sued. Nice.
Surprise.
Okay.
JPEG Mafia? What the fuck is that?
Good question. Oh, so I'll leave this choice to you guys, but first let's talk about shilling. I'll get mine out of the way super fast. Tomorrow I'm going back to Final Fantasy 12, and this time next week we will be joined by Raisin. But we have a guest slot open, so if anyone wants to pop in, you know how to reach out to us or say so in the Discord. Do follow us on the Discord, and bam. Now, Krendar, you, what doing?
Oh, the usual thing. Final Fantasy 14 tomorrow with friends.
Sweet.
Check it out.
Link in the doobly.
Doobly-doo.
Luna, you want to promote?
I'm on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and other sites. Follow me on Twitter and Twitch and stuff, and I stream when I feel like it. It was nice meeting you guys.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Try to get
The
you
new
back
people
on
in chat.
one more time before the end of the year. It'd be kind of cool if you can manage it. That is.
Yeah, you can hit me up anytime.
Sweet. You see, how could any man not take an advantage of that to do the whole parasocial thing that we were talking about earlier? I'm terrible at judging what people say. Devious, do you have anything you want to promote?
Yes, I am Luna's friend and co-host, and if you want to hear more of me, you can find me normally wherever Luna's streaming at the time. But apart from that, I really don't do much else. So, I live a life of luxury.
Nice.
Sounds lovely.
I know what I said about how we shouldn't, like, you guys can open it, but may I suggest You Sexy Thing?
Yeah, but also Bohemian Rhapsody, though.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. All right, guests, what do you want? Which is jumping
I've never
out?
come across this before, so I would ask the waiter his own personal preferences and expertise on the subject.
His I won't give away too much, but his musical style can be best described as loud. So if you can see a song there you think like hits the high notes, hits like the belting it out, it would be best suited for Buff.
Like Ring
Fair
My Bell.
point. Oh, that would be good.
Do you see it?
I think
Or?
it's
Disco?
not here. That's
Yeah,
a good
seems
question.
like you get down to disco.
Ring my bell or ring the bell?
My bell is what. I don't know if you've done it.
No. Well, you give it time.
Sure, maybe.
All right, I guess.
You Sexy Thing. That was the first one. Let's go with that one. That was the first instinct. I like that.
Yeah, what's poppin'? It's your boy Buff Crab, baby. Back up in love, baby.
All right, so Buff is a very sweet boy who dances and sings, and well, you'll see.
And have a very difficult time talking.
Yes, extreme. Why does his camera look the only thing that's 100% focused and crisp? Everything else looks like it's at 144p.
Because he lives in a fuzzy dream world.
Well, maybe we're seeing like how he sees the world.
Yeah, what's poppin'? It's your boy Buff Crab, baby. Back up in love, baby.
Is that a bike?
We're going to back on the upper there. Up a pump,
looks
and
like it.
Today we're gonna do some hot chocolate, you sexy thing, the ones and twos. Your boy Buff Crab back on the upper dead levels. Back at the back attack. Let's get for you.
Note his picture of himself on the wall. His room is only full of pictures of himself. In various states of dress and undress.
And sometimes some lotion and wipes.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what those jars are, but
don't want to know.
Yeah.
It's whatever he puts in his hair.
Mystery box.
You'll regret finding out if you ever learn.
That picture of John Tron with the flex glue, the gold.
Yes. Music.
I believe in miracles. Where you from? You sexy thing, you. I believe in miracles. Since you came along, you sexy thing.
His dancing skill is brilliant. His singing skill is terrible, but he can't do both at the same time.
Where did you come from, baby?
So he has to prioritize.
How did you know I needed you? How did you know I needed you so
I mean, what we need to remember here is that he's not using any like studio. He's not using a pro mic. He's not using anything like. This is just raw. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it is.
What's her name? Ariana Grande doesn't even like sing raw like this. You know what I mean? I bet you most people who we like absolutely adore and love that are celebrities and musicians don't sound anything like they sound digitally.
No. Yeah.
You know?
Lady Gaga is a good example of that. Listen to whenever she's by the piano singing. She sounds like she's actually got a much better voice, I think, without any of the fucking sound editing shit that goes into it.
She does.
I mean, I have like, voice, you know?
Yeah, I have a love for both. I like the authentic, just raw, no digital stuff, but I really do like synthetic, you know, auto-tune. I love that it lets people just kind of belt out. It removes a lot of that stage fright from people.
Friend of the show, Two Guns No Ammo. He does music. He's got like an album out, and he likes messing around with his voice modulator.
Oh, they're fun. They're so fun.
All right. Although interesting, it looks like he stopped the dancing.
Why?
Yesterday, I was one of the lonely
I wonder if he's using a record player.
No, because sometimes you can hear like this as like Spotify or like SoundCloud ad that plays in front of it on a song.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's digital. That would be cool. He just has a whole like record player from the 70s. Follow him on Twitter and you will get nothing for months, and then it's 5 pictures of himself over and over.
You sexy thing.
Ain't got no time for Twitter.
No, he's too busy dancing.
Yeah.
Like he's beaten the game. He's gotten all the achievements. Now he's just doing it for fun.
Where did you come from,
You live in Buff
angel?
How
How did you know I'd be the one? Did you know you're everything I prayed for?
He's actually handling a bit better this time.
Every night and day for every day, needing love.
Oh, never mind.
Satisfaction. Now you're lying next to me, giving it to me. I believe in miracles.
Miracle!
Where you from?
I've seen him before.
His fucking his balls dropped mid-song.
You sexy thing, you. I believe in miracles. Since you came along, you sexy thing.
Dude, dancing and singing is hard.
Yep.
Touch me.
Because singing and talking is like all about breathing and measure, right? And if the movement in your dancing doesn't meet up with the measurements of your breathing and the soft wear yourself out.
I was one of the lonely people.
Yeah.
Now you're lying close to me, giving it to me. I believe in miracles.
Back
You
leg
sexy thing, you. I believe in miracles. Since you came along, you sexy thing. Touch me.
This is the definition of singing and dancing like no one's watching. Right here. This is it, right here.
Hold me, baby.
He's been on stage
I don't
and
give a
dances the
fuck.
exact and sings the exact same way.
Kiss me.
He's really getting into this one. Yeah, you bit the monkey.
Keep on loving me, darling.
And then he says peace, then fiddles with it. Like, this is about as unedited as possible. It's brilliant.
No fucks given, man. He's like, I'm in, I'm out, done.
Completely unedited. You remember the number of times where he accidentally screwed up in the middle of his warm-up and he'll stop and restart his warm-up.
Yep, you
doesn't
have
edit
to have
that
it.
either. He just does his thing.
I've served in Afghanistan checking out IEDs, and this man is braver than I am. I sing and dance in front of the camera and upload it to YouTube. Seriously.
He was
regularly devious. It's like he does this every
look, he's
every
been
week.
doing this for 10 years now. There's very first.
Oh my god.
Yeah, look, baby buff, Whitney Houston.
10 years ago.
Yeah, listen to him. He's like a completely different person.
Yo, what's poppin'? It's your boy Krell, Buff Dog Buffett. in the house for cheesy for show. How am I looking though? In the back door, in the back door, in the back door. Not the front door, but the back door.
It still says nonsense, but
What's
at least
going
you
on
can.
with us? It's we going into July monsoon season. It's raining like cats and dogs outside. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing because I like the cold weather. I like the cool weather, not cold, but cool weather. You know what I'm saying? I could take cool weather, and as long as it just doesn't get too cold or get too rainy. You know, it's getting a little crazy outside. But anywho, it's your boy Carell Buffer. Follow me. I'm on Twitter at Carell Model. People been asking me where's my Twitter page at. It's at Carell Model, damn it. So go ahead and get me on there. Hit me up on that. And that's how we do it. Tonight I'm doing Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You. That's right, I'm going to go for this cover. I'm going to do it. Put my Carell Buffer style on the motherfucker. Excuse my language. But we going to get it. How the body looking? One more time. Got to check it before I do my thing. About to kill it. So let's get it.
RIP Whitney.
Wait a second, man. Be for some words, listen, man. Be for some words, listen, man. Be for some words, listen, man. Be for some
Oh, he's got a different one now, but the older one was like this one, like this was the first one. Then after a while, it became the Zazazazazazareezy.
Wait a second, man. Be for some words, listen, 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 man.
He just loves to dance, so you can.
Come on now.
You can have a smile on your face.
Himself.
Should stay. I will only be in your way. So I'll go. But I know
He's the human version of that flute, the Titanic
every
flute.
step of the way.
Yay, yay.
Yo. And
Oh, he went for the soft one. I have goosebumps anyway. What the fuck is happening?
Love you.
I'm so confused
You
right
just
now.
respect him for there's no lie with this man. He is exactly what he is, and he's happy for it. How can you not be happy in return? Like, he's succeeded at life.
You must be right. I gotta, fine, whatever. I consign. I've resigned to the reality. This man is just raw.
Yeah. He just is. I don't think he could be deceitful. I don't think he has it in him. Not anymore.
We'll always love you.
Unless he's had like a 10-year-long grift that we have no idea about.
My darling,
His neighbors think though.
Yeah, I've always wondered that. It must sound absolutely
That is all
terrible.
I'm taking with me. So goodbye. Please don't cry. We both know I'm not what you
Forget to like, share, subscribe, guys. Can't beat the classics, can you?
Let's take it down, so check it out. Carell B.
Such control. Yeah, he tells like stories with his dads. Prince there for a bit.
I hope life treats you kind, and I hope you have all you dreamed of, and I wish you joy and happiness. But above all this, I wish you love.
Go. Do it. reels. Oh.
No, that's what it is. It's not cringe. Like a lot of people who fuck up and can't sing well make cringe, right? This is not making me cringe. This is like making me happy.
He's just going for it.
Yeah, he's expressing himself the only way he
Yeah, he's
knows
hitting
how.
them notes too. I mean, he's getting up there. He's not hitting the notes.
Best song he ever played was WAP.
I'll always, baby, I'll always love you.
What we watched last week was fucking brilliant.
We're gonna always love you too, Buff. We're gonna love
Never
you
stop
too.
doing what you want to do, Buff. You are an inspiration to
That
us.
high note on it. That's a high note. That's an incredible song. She really put her C voice in that. Nobody can do it like Whitney. I give her props on that. Nobody can do it like Whitney. Okay,
Nobody
how
can do it like
Whitney. How that
Whitney.
back look in the back of their back. The back of their back. Don't talk back. The back of their back.
Yeah,
Don't talk back to the
Right,
back of the back.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, Whitney don't have no gains.
Does Whitney even live,
Right.
bro? Alright. That was fun. See you guys over on Twitch tomorrow. Devious and Luna, thank you so much for showing up.
A pleasure.
Agreed.
I'll be
Nice
sad
to
to-
meet
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
And yeah, you all take care at home, and I'll see you when I see you later.